Super Bowl every year because, yes, they have Mahomes, but they also have Chris Jones. And they also have Travis Kelce. And they also have this guy that the Bills handed him, who was the best wide receiver in the whole game last night, and that's Xavier Worth, who was just running all over the place making plays, who the Bills gave to them.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
The uncanny valley, that feeling of unease you get from humanoid androids whose looks creep you out on a subconscious level.
I am wearing my smiling face, so that displease you.
New tech from Osaka University dynamically synthesizes android facial movements to express their mood.
Yes, I'm tickled pink.
Breaking down moods into overlapping waves that blend naturally.
I'm running on fumes.
Mixing in realistic breathing, eye blinks, and even spontaneous yawning. Real emotions enhancing communications with robots in a more natural, human-like manner.
In other words, just another uncanny valley Sunday in synthetic human land.
Follow me at Chicapalmo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Days are getting cooler.
The shadows are getting longer.
You know what that means? It's football weather. So bundle up and keep it here for all the latest strategies and gridiron information. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please welcome.
It's the opening kickoff with Carver and Lisi.
All right, here we go. Carver and Lisi with you. SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM, channel 159. Great to have everybody with us here on a Monday night. Probably like the first Carver and Lisi Monday night show we've done in like 5 months. Might be. Maybe the second. A couple weeks ago we did, right? And now we're back here for the long haul on Mondays, of course, as we have a very busy night tonight. There is a lot going on, a lot of live stuff. There's a ton of NBA tonight. I've already heard Joe right before the show came on say something like, you think we could get this out of Bradley Beal tonight? I know he's got the bounds for, I think it's AD. AD had like 11 bounds in the first quarter tonight in that Laker Hornet game. Hold on, we're getting there. So we have lots of live action. There's college basketball. There's one game I love tonight. Why? Because system play tonight. We have a system play in college basketball to look at. There's even golf on the TGL. We've got Tiger and Rory down hitting the balls in the screens down in Florida. So that's on the table as well. Of course, we're going to talk about our Super Bowl matchup, if we have to, after and Sunday's games. So we will discuss all of that as well. Mike Carver, and of course, the encyclopedia of college football, the one, the only, go for the two, Joe Lisi. Hi, Joe.
What's up, Carver? Gutless. I want to slam Dalton Kincaid, okay? I want to slam him, all right? Absolutely gutless on multiple levels. Guy couldn't get into the end zone, cost me a lot of coin. I sent you the ticket. And on top of it, what a gutless effort. I mean, the guy dives and hits off his hand. I mean, come on. I mean, forget the Bills lost. I mean, I told you that was going to happen on Friday, and I'm sorry. You know, I feel the pain with you, my brother. I feel it. We're both in agony together, okay? But That Dalton's Kincaid. I mean, what a gutless effort. They should scrape him out. He should never see the field again.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And you know, Joe, it's I don't really have one specific thing. Like I think it's a combination of a lot of things why they lost, and Kincaid obviously was one of them. I mean, he's part of the crew that these guys that Bean has drafted, especially with some high picks. You know, these are the guys that are supposed to show up and support Allen in these big games. And the reason if you probably heard the promo, Joe, I was screaming about this with Scotty today. Like
that was coast to coast.
The reason that was from coast to coast today. The reason why the Bills lose these games every year to the Chiefs in the playoffs is, I think you'll agree with me. And I know you were trying to bust my horns the other night, but it's true. You watch the games. You've watched all these games. Allen can play heads up with Mahomes. He could play heads up with Patrick Mahomes. This is not, and I know everyone makes it that. It's a quarterback league. The quarterbacks are the stars. The quarterbacks are the ones who have to wear the scarlet letters when they lose and get all the glory when they win. But he could play heads up with Pat. This is not an Allen Mahomes thing. This is the reason why this has ended the way it has, poorly again for Bill fans last night, is because the guys that the Chiefs put around Patrick Mahomes make the plays in the big spots, and the guys that the Bills have put around Josh Allen, they do not. And specifically, Joe, high first-round picks. You spend a first-round pick on Dalton Kincaid. That guy sucks. Kamar Elam, that corner that they brought in when Benford got hurt, watch him getting burned and toasted all over the field in the first half. It was disgraceful. I mean, Joe, all these guys. And where do the Chiefs? The Chiefs get huge plays from Chris Jones.
I know.
They get huge plays from Xavier Worthy. They get huge plays.
Juju.
They are
Juju. Oh, man, Juju.
Juju. They are so good at drafting and supplementing Mahomes with talent that, yes, he's great. Well, Allen's great too. The difference is coaching and drafting. And the Chiefs are light years ahead of the Buffalo Bills in that department.
No, you're right. And I'll give props to two Bills because they showed up yesterday. Matt Collins, guy's a gamer, and James Cook. Let me tell you, those guys
Cook was outstanding.
Put them on another island with Allen, okay? You want to play, and Allen hasn't turned the football over, against the Bills, right? So that's another thing. Here's the problem. Watching the game play out, right? 32-29, game on the line. What's with the play call? Like, all right.
Yeah.
What's with the drive? They run Ty Johnson wide to start the drive. Like,
Cook wasn't on the field the entire drive. He wasn't on the field. Like, what? He's not on the field.
You're telling me, and to your point, James Cook had 49 yards receiving. You're telling me you couldn't dump that off the way they did it late in the fourth quarter, a little pop pass. The guy ran it 30 yards, and I'm so mad because I had James Cook, 25. If I would have put Cook instead of that gutless performer Kincaid, I probably would have hit a grand slam yesterday, and I got mesmerized with the anytime touchdowns that I got off the beaten path. I'm sick, really, because we know I've had some big hits, right? And I know you on the team level. But to be in that game and be perplexed because, we always talk, you take the cash out, do you not take the cash out? Yesterday was the day I let it ride and it bit me. But to go back and watch the game and I still had life, thinking, okay, Josh at worst ties the game up, right, Carver? And at worst, they tie it up. You think they have to, and then they go for if they can get it within the 30, they'll go for the kill shot, and that could open up Kincaid anyway, right? Just maybe I get a miracle in Arrowhead. But where is James Cook? Why do you run Ty Johnson and start the drive, 2nd and 12, and then Amari Cooper on a pop pass? The guy's got a 4.8 40.
To be fair, though, you watch, and I know all the gurus have broken this down today. That actually, they all say, was a great play call, and that Karlaftis prevented probably either a touchdown or a huge gain because
they ran it to the short side of the field. They ran it to the short side.
Passed. If Cooper breaks that, and I need Cooper too. for a touchdown in that
But
game.
it was to the short side. Everything is to the short side.
Joe, they picked the worst game. They picked the wrong time, the worst game to have their worst offensive line play, their worst defensive line play, and their worst play calling game of the entire season. The Bills were so good all year at doing the little things and not making mistakes, all of that. They were their worst in all three of those areas last night. All three. Brady's worst game. Joe, look, I love it. I think after the 12th time, and I thought he got the first down on the 4th and 1 at 22-21. But you know what, Joe? At the 12th time, it wasn't working. Like, you were only getting a half a yard. Like, you needed to go to something else at that point. Enough with moving them to the left and jamming them in the line.
It's not even a tush push, though. They weren't even getting under him. It was Josh Allen doing like a sneak to the side.
But that's been their play, and it has worked. But guess what? It didn't work like 12 times last night. It didn't work. Like, it just kept insisting on running it, and that is where, you lose. I would have preferred Josh and shotgun, just trying to make something happen that way, as opposed to running the same thing you've run 11 times before, and it was stopped every time, whether he had it or not, which he did. But I don't care. Yeah,
is he gone, McDermott?
I don't know. He's never gone. He's never gone. I'll tell you what I think about that. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio. We're just getting going on a Monday night. We're back in.
Time to coil up that garden hose. And SportsGrid has you covered with strategies and info on football, baseball, and everything else. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-959-6348. 800-959-6348. 800-959-6348. Call right now before it's too late. That's 800-959-6348.
Carver and Lisi.
Allen can stand toe-to-toe with Mahomes. The rest of the guys can't. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year because, yes, they have Mahomes, but they also have Chris Jones. And they also have Travis Kelce. And they also have this guy that the Bills handed them, who was the best wide receiver in the whole game last night, and that's Xavier Worth, who was just running all over the place making plays, who the Bills gave to them.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
When the weather cools off, Major League Baseball playoffs heat up. Sit tight. The World Series is coming. Keep it here for every bit of the action with strategies and information to give you the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM, channel 159, here on a Monday night. Quickly, Joe, and then we'll get back into this. I just wanted to, because I didn't get to do this at the beginning. Lakers up 59-51 on the Hornets at the half in Charlotte. Good. AD with 23 and 12 in the first half.
Yeah, good. That's good. And the game is tight.
14 bounds. Is that what you said to me? 14?
Yeah, but I got a crazy parlay. Because I lost yesterday with the crazy one, I put in some crazy stuff. So the odds of me hitting with just AD tonight are nuts. So
Okay. Cavs are up 10 on the Pistons, 55-45. Rockets and Celtics are tied at 35. The Nets are up on Sacramento, 34-26. Magic lead the Heat by 4. Jimmy Butler suspended indefinitely now. He's finished. Was a member
where's
of the
he
Heat.
going to go? You think he can go to the Knicks?
No, he's not going to go to the Knicks. It sounds like it's either going to be Phoenix or Dallas some way, somehow, with like these crazy 4 or 5 team trades to make the money work. Apparently, Milwaukee's going to be involved. The Bulls are going to be involved. There's going to be several teams, Joe, that are going to be involved in this thing in terms of getting them. That the Knicks lead the Grizzlies by 7. Raptors up 2 on the Pelicans. Bulls, Nuggets just underway. Hawks, T-Wolves just underway. Wizards, Mavs, Bucks, Jazz, and Clippers, Suns, all later on in the night. As far as the college basketball this evening, there is a couple of games. Michigan up 1, Joe, 65-64 on Penn State with under 5 minutes to go in that game.
I had Penn State.
You have Penn State getting
and
5
a crazy
minutes?
8.5. 8.5 I got.
Iowa up 1. They just started, really. They're only 8 minutes in. Iowa up 11-10 on Ohio State. Duke is going to start in like 15 minutes, Joe. They're laying 21.5 against NC State tonight. That is a big number. I know NC State's not that great this year.
I like NC State plus the 21.5.
3 tutties and a hook, huh? You're in on it. You're in on the 3 touchdowns.
Here's what I got. I got a wheel play. I got AD for 14 bounds. Penn State plus the 8.5. Cade Cunningham with 3 threes. He's got 0. De'Aaron Fox for 30. He's got 12. McCollum for 4 threes. He's got 1. Zach LaVine for 35. He's got none. Randall Julius for 25. He's got 7. NC State plus the 21.5. And the cherry on top, UCLA money line over USC.
I like UCLA tonight also, Joe. I'm in on UCLA.
That pays, ready?
Yeah.
On a $50 bet, $376,021.97.
I just realized because I'm listening to you and I'm watching things, I'm looking at stuff, and then I'm listening. Yeah, you rang off. You must have rang off 6, 7, 8 things there. Well,
it's a nine-leg parlay.
Then you said the number at the end, and I go, yeah, there you go. That makes sense. We do have tonight also late night, 10:30 East tip, system play. Arizona, unranked at home, favored over number 3, 17-2 Iowa State. That is an absolute, no doubt about it, run to the window with Arizona situation tonight, Joe. Right. Arizona tonight against the Cyclones out in the desert. Let's go,
All
baby.
right. I sort of like that. Now, I don't know. Did UCLA cover the other night against Washington? They laid 5.5.
Hold on a second.
It was an 11 o'clock Friday night game.
Yeah, that was on Friday, that game, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Bring up my Big Ten schedule that I have. They won by 5.
Wow. Right on the number.
It was 5.5, so Washington covered, yeah.
Interesting.
Depending on when you got it. Yeah. So
meanwhile,
that's where that's at.
Same usual suspects. Same hacks letting me down again. 5 threes for Hero tonight. He's got none. 4 threes for Malik Monk. He's got none. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's that
Monk had a huge night against the Knicks on Saturday. Malik's Monk.
No threes, though. He had no threes, though. He had
25 plus points, though, right? He had 25 points in the game. This Towns, he's too much, too. You bet the guy Towns, he does a lot. You don't bet him, he does nothing. It's just amazing.
Can I get this Max Strus to come in?
Max Strus. Can you get the Strus, man? Yeah, why not? Let's get Strus.
I don't know. This Hero is going to let me. I'm going to be upset if he doesn't come through.
Hey, Hero.
I'm searching now. After losing that yesterday, it's just like a punch in the belly. Really is. Matthias said that Matthias said, if I know you were hinging on Kincaid, I would have told you he's gutless. Easier said than done when going up and down the field like when you got Matt Collins, when you got Matt Collins and Curtis Samuel catching balls out of nowhere. I thought for sure on that Curtis Samuel play that maybe Kincaid could weed himself open, but no, that wasn't.
I'll tell you, Joe, I can't believe that the only guy that didn't hit the 4 quarterback touchdown parlay was Allen. I would have said no way. The only guy that didn't. We talked about the 4 quarterbacks one day last week, and
I know,
and 3 of the 4 hit, and Mahomes had 2, and Hurts had 3.
Well, Donnie, here's the thing. So we have this thing on the segment of Pro Football Today. Sell me something. So I went out with these crazy bets. So last week was all 4 quarterbacks to score with Lamar and Josh Allen and Hurts, and Stafford was 39-1. So on a $100 bet, it paid $407,000, and 2 of the 4 came in. So I did this week. I said, what if I do 2 for Hurts, 2 for Daniels, 2 for Allen, and 1 for Mahomes? And Donnie goes, what if Mahomes scores twice? What would that pay? And Allen for 1? And I didn't do it. I got, and sure enough, Allen didn't score, but still.
Allen didn't score. Allen killed all quarterback parlays. Allen crushed all of them by not being able to get a half a yard a couple times at the 1. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
Don't look like an idiot at work. Know your stuff. Football and everything else. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. Football Full Circle.
They were in a position where they were tight yet again. You have to believe that you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you had Matt Collins that was playing good. Keon Coleman, get him out of there. That was a complete waste of space. The bottom line is this. You have a 6'5 quarterback. Push him and don't go off tackle. Go right up the gut. The way Jalen Hurts does it.
It's Football Full Circle with Ben Stevens and Joe Lisi. Weekdays noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
In 1969, Chuck Noll was named the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then a year later, the Steelers draft Terry Bradshaw from Louisiana Tech.
Just been informed that the MVP is Terry Bradshaw.
Noll and Bradshaw go on to lead Pittsburgh to 4 Super Bowls during the 1970s.
I don't think we peaked yet, and we're looking forward to even bigger and better things.
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
Fall is almost here. It's time to stow the lawnmower and get ready for all that glorious action coming your way. Stay tuned to SportsGrid for all the strategies, angles, and info you need to get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and Sirius XM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with the early line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Moneyline at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern. And Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evenings simmer with Carver and Lisi. Then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find SportsGrid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 159 here on a, what is it, Joe? Monday. It's a Monday night here. By the way, potentially our first upset of this TGL, this golf simulator thing. In fact, every match the first few weeks has been blowouts. This is the first close match that we've had It's 3-2. Tigers team is up on Rory's team, and they're going to be going to the 14th. I think Tiger needs to make this to chop the hole, or whoever's in right. Who's on right here? They dropped the hammer. Whatever that's about. Tiger's got to make this to half the hole, and we'll see if he can. But this has been a good one so far at the TGL. All right, Joe, let's get back to a couple things from before, because I think that you were asking me as we were going to break something about McDermott. Is that what you were saying when we were going to the break?
Yeah, you
the first
think he's
time?
gone? I mean, is this enough to get him gone?
He's not going to be gone. That I could tell you. Now, there's a different... I actually thought, and you know that I've had a lot of problems with McDermott in the past about how he is coached in some of these games. From a coaching scared standpoint, I do not think he did that last night for the first time in one of these big games against the Chiefs. I actually thought he kept the foot down, went on all the fourths, and you could even say maybe he was, of course it's always after the fact. Everyone always wants these guys to go for two, do this, do that, and then when they do it and they miss, they're accused of not knowing what they're doing and chasing points. Because obviously, Joe, when they got that penalty on the extra point, when they had 16, they went for two to make it 21-18. They thought they could get so that was the first time they tried the dopey push thing, and it didn't work on that 2-point conversion. And then they chased points the rest of the time. Do the math. It probably could have been 31-31 at the end if they didn't do that and chase those around. But that's either here nor there. I thought from that aspect, he had his best, playoff game. But the problem is, once again, Joe, and this is what falls on his shoulders as being a defensive-minded head coach. The Chiefs scored the most points they've scored all year. They had not 32 points.
You knew that.
Well, yeah.
When they get pushed in, when you got to expect in a playoff game with the chips in the middle of the table that offense, for no matter what, is going to be humming, right? Don't you? You can't take it for granted.
Yeah, but, Joe, you can't take it for granted, but you also can't give up, 30-plus to them every single time. This was the stat I was looking for. The 32 points were a season high. Kansas City had 9 drives. The Bills' defense got stops on 2 out of the 9 drives. The fumble was not forced by a Bill. That was a mistake by Mahomes. Now, yes, the Bills capitalized and jumped on the football, but they did not force that fumble. In fact, their defensive line didn't smell Mahomes the entire day. None of those guys, Rousseau,
Ed Oliver,
Von
bad
Miller,
game. Oliver.
Oliver had a bad game. The whole defensive line had an awful game. Allen's 0-4 against Kansas City. In the 4 games, the Bills averaged 28 points scored. So Allen scored 4+ touchdowns in all these games. 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, and only 1 turnover in the 4 games. The Bills have given up 38, 42, 27, and 32 in those games. Like, Joe, can you hold them under 30? Honestly, can you keep them? This is a team that didn't. This isn't the Chiefs from 4 years ago or 3 years ago, who were a high-powered offense with Tyreek Hill. This team didn't score 30 points all year, and you let them score 32 points in this game. It's always going to be on Allen, but could someone else help him out at some point? Anyone want to help him?
Here's the problem, Carver. The problem is this. You're right. Can somebody help him out? But the defense we knew going in was exposed in games, right? The Rams exposed them. Detroit in the loss. I mean, St. Brown had 198 yards in the loss. You knew that wide receivers could exploit them. So my point is, when you're going up against a guy that you've never beat in the playoffs, even though you beat them in the regular season, they still put up 21, and you got to expect they're going to do at least 30% better than that at home.
Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
Fall is here.
It's getting cooler.
Football and the World Series are coming in.
Life is good. SportsGrid makes it better.
Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
The uncanny valley, that feeling of unease you get from humanoid androids whose looks creep you out on a subconscious level.
I am wearing my smiling face. Does that displease you?
New tech from Osaka University dynamically synthesizes android facial movements to express their mood.
Yes, I'm tickled pink.
Breaking down moods into overlapping waves that blend naturally.
I'm running on fumes.
Mixing in realistic breathing, eye blinks, and even spontaneous yawning. Real emotions enhancing communications with robots in a more natural, human-like manner.
In other words, just another uncanny valley Sunday in synthetic human land.
Follow me at Chicapalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-365-6303. 800-365-6303. 800-365-6303. That's 800-365-6303.
Right before your very eyes, the boys of summer are about to become the champions of fall.
MLB playoffs are coming.
And SportsGrid will bring you all the angles, strategies, and info.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159. Great to have you aboard here. And just a couple other things, Joe, and then I will get into, we'll move on from some of this stuff. But you just knew. Well, look, Joe, like I said to you on Friday, I know you weren't like listening like this. I've been doing this my whole life. Like, this isn't like, I didn't think that last night was as bad as the 13-second game. I still think the 13-second game, I get that was divisional. This is title game. It was one step away. You know, you could factor all those things in. I'm sure that you'll tell me, you know, they would have lost to Burrow just like the Chiefs lost to Burrow after the 13-second game. You know, all these things, whatever. But in terms of being that close to beating that team, you know, they weren't closer last night than they were in the game couple years ago. That was, you have the lead with 13 seconds to play after a great drive by Allen. You should win the game. It's just this is the same thing. I've always dealt with this. I think it's not saying it becomes easier, but when you've never won and all you've known, you've never seen the team get to the top and they've kind of beaten you down into, you always know how it's going to end. You set yourself up for the expectations before it goes down. You know, expect the worst and you're never disappointed is sometimes how you have to play with it. And if I was in my 20s and they lost a game like that, I'd probably take it a lot harder. When I used to be not more invested, but like, you know, it was a higher priority in my life. Like, I would go out every Sunday with the guys. I'm watching the game. I'm living and dying with the game. I'm always, you know, now, obviously, I'm still watching every game, Joe, but it's different now. You know, like, let me tell you something. That loss last night was it was out of my hands at 3 a.m. when the little guy's up with 103 fever. You know, like, you lose. That's got to go away real quick when you get older, and that's you know, you can't let it hang with you like you used to maybe when you were younger. So it sucks, but it is what it is, man. You gotta keep going and hopefully there's another time.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean,
I'll take this. I'll take this, as painful as this is, and this sucks. But I would still take this over the 17, 18 straight years I did of 3-13, 5-11, 4-12, 3-13. That is painful because there's zero hope whatsoever. At least they've given me a ride.
You think they could get back next year?
I don't know. I don't have. I think that's where I was going to wrap this up with you. I don't have faith in. I really do believe this, and I know on the surface he had nothing to do with the game, but really he had everything to do with the game. I actually think that Brandon Beane takes the bigger hit out of anyone involved with the Bills here, because a lot of, I should say, not all, because obviously there's a few guys, but a lot of the picks that he's made over the last 3 or 4 years that were supposed to be good players, that were supposed to help, take them to the next level, he's missed poorly on a lot of them. And I still go back to Joe, and Gabe's yelled about this a lot the last 24 hours. When me and you sat here during the draft in April, I was very upset about this. I know on the surface, it's whatever. It's moving up and down the draft board. There's 200 trades throughout the entire weekend. Everyone moves around the draft board. You can't put a player of that caliber in their hands off of your slot like you did with Mahomes. And Worthy was the best wide receiver in the game last night. He just was. He was the best wide receiver in the game. I know he didn't catch the ball. That was another dopey call. But he was outside of that, he made impactful plays, obviously more in the first half than the second when the Bills adjusted. But he made impactful plays in that game. And the Bills gave him to the Chiefs. He gave him to him, just like they gave him Mahomes the year that the Chiefs traded up to get Mahomes. On the surface, Joe, it just looks bad, especially when you also have been drafted well with these Elam and Kincaid and look, I think Coleman's going to be all right, but there's a reason he was
He's not a
early
number
second.
one. He's not a number one.
There's a reason why he's an early second round pick. He's not a Brian Thomas. He's not a Neighbors. He's not one of these guys. And
he doesn't even get separation. That's the problem.
He can out jump guys, which is, which is, you want to have a guy who could do that. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a need, he's completely useless. There's a lot of guys who were useless in that game for the Bills last night, but you need to have someone who does a little bit more than that. But it's just, Joe, it's bad optics. And the bad optics reared their head when this guy Worthy has a touchdown and is the best player in the game. It's bad optics. And that's what, between that and other things, Beane really takes a hit with me. And I don't trust him to be able to continue to maneuver and shake a little bit more around this and get the right people around. He's drafted poorly defensively.
He has. I feel like this is a therapy session. I'm letting you talk and talk, get it all out. You feel good. We embrace you because I know it stings a little bit more than obviously me. I just lost money. You got slapped in the belly and just your guts ripped right out of you. I know that's the way it feels, and I know that we're a little bit older and you got to bounce back, get on the horse, and that's why we're betting basketball tonight. But I mean, at the end of the day, it still stings. I'm sure the IGA and everything else, what is it? The IPA? What do you drink? I drink wine. What do you drink? The Suds? Tell me. It's
we'll have a couple beers now and then. Yeah, we have a couple beers.
Taste this today. The coffee is a little bitter. It's shaking.
Well, of course. Joe, you don't get many of, you don't, unless you're the Chiefs, you don't get many of these. You just don't. You don't get a lot of these opportunities.
I don't believe the refs, though, played that much of a part. Do you?
I believe we are now 40 minutes in, Do I sound like I was upset with the officials in the game last night?
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and that needs to change.
I thought
But
there was two major plays that they messed up.
That interception, or that supposed interception, double catch, that hit the ground.
That was either, there was three things that could have been. It was either Bill's ball, or, which it wouldn't have been, by the way, I know there was a penalty on the play, but either the guy intercepted it or it was incomplete. The third option was, I thought, the least possible option, and yet that's the one that was rewarded, which was that he caught it. The ball clearly touches the ground as they're both. When have you ever seen a play, Joe, where the tip of the ball hits the ground and they still allow it?
And then there's territory. Wow, the hand didn't move as you'd wake up. You couldn't even tell which one was Worthy's hand.
And
this is Steratore, too.
Yeah, it's Steratore stuff. And look, clearly the biggest one of the whole was the fourth down and where they spotted the football. Now, that's a key moment, Joe, because if they have a first down there, up 22-21, and they could continue to move at midfield, and they potentially go up 2 scores there, yes, obviously it's a much different game. But as I said to you, I can't leave it in their hands, these dopey refs with this spot. Run a better play. You ran the same play you ran 11 times, and it didn't work. You got a half a yard instead of 3/4 of a yard. It didn't happen for you. So, you know, that's where it comes down to me, Joe. And I know the refs suck. The refs suck for everybody. For me, that was more the Bills' self-inflicted wounds than bad job by the refs. Yes, there was like 6 holds on the punt return, too, that the guy in the Chiefs had. There was about 6 holds back there when the guy got the ball back at the 10-yard line. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 150.
Yeah, it's getting cooler.
Football weather is here.
Stay tuned for all the latest odds, strategies, and info. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Carver and Lisi.
Allen can stand toe-to-toe with Mahomes. The rest of the guys can't. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year because, yes, they have Mahomes, but they also have Chris Jones. And they also have Travis Kelce. And they also have this guy that the Bills handed them, who was the best wide receiver in the whole game last night, and that's Xavier Worth, who was just running all over the place making plays, who the Bills gave to them.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. On the SportsGrid Radio Network. SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and Sirius XM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with the early line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Money Line at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern, and Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evenings simmer with Carver and Lisi, then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find SportsGrid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. No way football is played in the fall and winter.
Because the hits don't hurt as much when you're numb. Get the lowdown on all the sports action coming up right here.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio. Sirius XM Channel 159. Great to have everybody with us here on the grid. All right, Joe. So there you go. With all of that, upsetting, but what can you do? It is what it is. Still got to get up for
Yeah.
work in the morning.
That's where the rubber meets the road, my friend. The rubber meets the
That's
road.
it, baby. There's
That's
not
it.
much you can do.
No, not at all. It just
look, it's
Now they
you
wanted me. Now I just want you to know, a lot of people reached out. I'm not going to mention names. They wanted me to be a little harsh with you, and I can't. I'm not like that.
Harsh about what?
Oh, that I got the pick right, and it was right, and I was like, I'm not going to do
pick
that.
right. I mean, what
Yeah,
is there to be harsh about? I tried to. You see, the problem was the other night is, what you were doing is you were basically talking to me like I had never watched a big game before in my life. Is how you were talking to me. So
that's not.
You were kind of like, just prepare yourself. Just prepare yourself. Like, Joe, prepare myself for what? What am I, a 7-year-old kid finding out Santa Claus isn't real? Like, what are you? You're telling me to prepare myself.
Were you 7 when you found out about Santa? Or no?
I'm just giving you an example, Joe. I'm just throwing a number out there for you.
I figured they would
but what
wait
I'm saying
like
to you
12
is,
or 11.
yeah,
12,
I mean, whatever. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's all like. It's just all ridiculous. I mean, we watch hundreds of these games every single year. I mean, it is what if your team's in it and you hope that they win.
Was there a part of you yesterday that I thought you actually had a shot? Like, did you ever feel confident? Did you ever feel like
as I said to you the other day, I thought this was the year they were going to beat them. I thought that they had done enough, but you found out very early on that the same things that you thought were corrected from the past just wasn't the case. And
I have one more ask.
Again,
right.
Yeah.
Can I ask? Did you actually like at one point in the fourth quarter, did you actually book on Trivago? Did you actually click for to watch the game? Like to set it up, like go take the trip, whether it be to watch the game or go to maybe the parade for Buffalo.
Like never going anywhere.
No,
it was never going anywhere.
Now, hypothetical. If they do win a Super Bowl in your lifetime, would you fly out to Buffalo for the parade?
I mean, that would depend when and where I am in my life. I mean, if it was this year, no. I mean, I've got 2 small kids. I can't. It is what it is. They're the
not
priority.
winning within the next 10 years. So let's be honest. We're talking like you're well into your 50s like me. I mean, 58, 59. Maybe they have a young, quarterback that comes in. He's zinging it all over the place.
Circumstances are different. To be quite honest with you, that you're talking about something that's probably never going to happen. So it doesn't really make a difference.
You don't think you'll ever see the Bills win a championship? Ever?
Again, when you talk to somebody who has seen what I have seen, you don't expect it's ever going to happen. I know that there's these people that sit around and do all this, we're going to get them next year, and you better believe, and you better do that. Yeah, that's all nonsense, man. You could call me when they're right back where they were, and we'll see if they can finally get it done. Because it takes
Carver,
it takes a lot.
I don't like seeing that.
It takes a lot to get all the way back to that spot. It is not easy to get all the way to the end. I know that there's teams like, the Chiefs that make it easy, but those are special teams. It is not easy to get all the way back. It's just not. So you got to take your opportunities when you get them. They didn't take them, and that's that.
You got to shoot. You got to shoot your shot. You got to call your shot. You'll get your chance. You'll get your chance.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. Like I said,
you want me to get your shirt? I'll get your shirt, Carver and Lisi. You'll get your chance.
Yeah, there's no need for a shirt.
Come on, champ.
There just isn't. So
come on, champ. You'll get your chance.
Fine by me.
Champ. No.
Again, like I said, I
feel like I did it. I feel like I'm sort of to blame for that now.
For what?
Because I was adamant that the Chiefs. I was so right too that the Chiefs were gonna win. Like I feel like I sort of
you weren't actually. To be fair, you were actually wrong about a ton of the game. You thought that the Bills were going to lose because Allen was going to be a loser. is what you basically said on Friday
No,
night.
no, no,
You
no,
said
no.
it would be a loser
I
in
didn't
the
say
game.
that. I just said,
So
let's hope
yes,
he
it is.
doesn't revert.
You get spouting all these stats from games that happened in September, like if that matters, and you kind of
So
spouted
you're
all
saying
those
my
off.
analysis was wrong?
I'm saying your analysis was awful on the game.
Awful,
is what I'm saying.
awful.
I think you caught lucky. You jumped on the team that wins all the time. So there you go. You caught it.
Sometimes the trend is your friend.
I'll tell you
The
one thing.
trend is your friend.
I'll tell you one thing. You can't talk
Go
your
ahead.
way out of what you thought about the first game.
All
No
right,
talking your
so
way out of that one.
it's okay. I split. I did okay in the first game. And best bet on Pro Football today was the over in the Bills game. I knew that defense was going to give up 30 plus. I mean, that complete sieve. No?
Look, yeah, I certainly wasn't. For them to win, they had to give up less than 30 points.
All right, I'll throw an olive branch your way, okay? Since now I got it out of my system now, too. I said I was going to be Darth Vader on the network, and all of a sudden I went after both co-hosts, right? I went after the Eagles co-host. They had the last laugh. And unfortunately, I slayed you with the Kansas City pick. It happens. Somebody was bound to lose. I lost the first game. I bounced back the second game, right? No? I mean...
Sure.
But I tell you what, I would have loved for your team to win and Kincaid to hit pay dirt. I mean, that ultimately would have put the biggest smile on my face. The fact that gutless tight end that you guys recruited and wanted in your building, the fact that he never steps up is absolutely pathetic.
He's awful. He stinks. Oh,
They
used a first round pick on that guy. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM. We're back after this.
The boys of summer become the champions of fall.
The World Series is on its way.
And SportsGrid brings you every angle. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steelman Pills. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. That's 800-823-3851.
Moneyline. Could this be, Ben, the best offseason in the history of the NFL? Let's go get Vic Fangio. We have the worst defense in the NFL. Well, how'd that work out? They're the number one defense in the NFL here. Let's go get Kellen Moore. And oh yeah, let's sign a backup special team, sometimes pass rusher in Zach Vaughn, who turns out to be the single best linebacker in football this year.
Catch Moneyline with Donnie Rightside and Kevin Walsh. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Get sports gaming strategies and information 24 hours a day,
7 days a week.
Everything you need to get the winning edge.
Right here.
All the time.
No wonder the wife says you never listen to her.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi with you, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. And let me just tell you something. I know that I went after this guy, I went after that guy, I went after this one, I went after him. I'm going to tell you right now, because you're going to have yourself a long couple of weeks ahead of you here. I'm going to let you know, 2 weeks from now, you're going to sit in here, and you don't know what you're going to tell me? You're going to wish it was my team that won and not their team, because you got a long 2 weeks of listening to those two guys feed you all that bird propaganda on your syndicate show, because they're gonna be double teaming you, bird propaganda all over the place. Fly, Eagles, fly, all over that city next week, and all over. You're gonna get it left, right, and center. You're gonna wish the roles were reversed, and it was just me, little old me, and my team who won't bother anybody, and not saying a word, as opposed to what those guys are gonna do to you down there in New Orleans with the Fly, Eagles, fly stuff all week long.
Maybe I'm on the Eagles, man. Fly, Eagles,
How could you not be? How could you not be?
Why?
How could you not be on the Eagles? You got to be on the Eagles. Who the hell wants to root for them? Who the hell wants to root for that team?
I'll tell you what. If I get a sniff that the public is all on the Eagles, I might have to take Mahomes for the three-peat. I tell you, I said early on I take the Eagles, but if I don't like what I see down there,
the public's going to be on the Eagles.
Joe Poe with Saquon
because
Barkley.
It's just like the Bill game. Everyone wants to see the Chiefs lose, so the public's going to be running to the window for Philadelphia, running.
I have a couple of prop bets I like already. Pacheco over his total, whatever it is. Pacheco anytime touchdown. Devontae
They can't
Smith.
run the ball, man. They don't run the football.
They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball against that front seven. Let me tell you, they're going to be well rested. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. You know, a lot of dogs on that team, a lot of bulldogs, and that's sort of where my heart is. You know what I mean? So
I know.
I'm
aware, Joe.
Zach Bond now, and Nakobe Dean went down, and you got Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, and oh boy, and old man Darius Slay.
That is a team. You're just another prime example. That is a team that knows how to draft. Look at all those guys that they have who are impactful players that they drafted.
But they were
in the last couple of
players
years
in college. You're talking about half the Georgia Bulldogs that had the best defense in college football.
Yeah, but they're all impactful now at the top at this level too. They're all impactful
who put
now.
Jordan Davis on the map? Who put Jordan Davis on the map? I know. You were tooting Keon Coleman as the second coming of Andre Reed or Eric Moulds. I don't know. You tell me. You want to talk about Johnny skid marks? Look at the stains inside Keon Coleman's shorts. I mean, this guy. I mean, non-existent.
You know what was unfortunate? You know what was unfortunate for him? He was getting it, and he was starting to figure it out, and he was becoming a big part of the offense, and he broke his hand in that Seattle game. He caught a touchdown in the game, too. He played great in that game. And then he missed a month or 5 weeks, whatever it was, and then they never really worked him back in after that.
So you're saying it's the kid's fault. It's the kid's fault.
Well, it's not the kid's fault. I mean, he broke his hand. Whatever it was that he did, he got hurt, and that took him out of the flow. And I know they like the everybody eats thing with the 7 different guys that could catch the ball, 8 different guys. They need someone who's a little bit more reliable, that when he's out on the field, that defenses are keying him, because it didn't end up being Cooper. They didn't use Cooper properly.
And not to go, I forget about Cooper. This Klay Thompson, 6 of 8 from three-point land. The first quarter,
I
he's
told
got
you.
18.
You didn't bet him.
This guy's a hack. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. 6 of 8.
That's how it goes.
Come on.
Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
is here.
It's getting cooler.
Football and the World Series are coming in.
Life is good. SportsGrid makes it better.
Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Grady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
South Korean scientists have developed swarms of tiny robots working together like ants to perform Herculean feats, picking up and carrying objects many times their size, climbing together and hurling themselves over obstacles while moving objects over 2,000 times their weight. Is this the dreaded nanobot singularity? Each microbot is actually just 600 micrometers tall and meant to clean human arteries and carry targeted drugs, saving lives. So ignore the hype. It's all a question of scale. Follow me at Capalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
In 1969, Chuck Noll was named the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then a year later, the Steelers draft Terry Bradshaw from Louisiana Tech.
Just been informed that the MVP is Terry Bradshaw.
Noll and Bradshaw would go on to lead Pittsburgh to 4 Super Bowls during the 1970s.
I don't think we've peaked yet, and we're looking forward to even bigger and better things.
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
You're listening to where real winners go for actionable insights and expert perspectives on daily sporting events.
7 days a week.
It's not a secret or anything.
I mean, we have a promotion budget for Pete's sake.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Here we go. Hour number 2, Carver and Lisi with you. SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM, channel 159. Great to have you with us here on the grid. We got a lot to do this hour. We're watching a bunch of these games, NBA, college. There was an upset at the TGL. Tigers team, Jupiter, did beat Rory's team, Boston. So big upset. They were big dogs tonight, and they got it done. I'm actually watching, Joe, because I have one of these big money line parlays in college hoops tonight. It's that time of year now that football's over. You find yourself sometimes on a Monday night watching McNeese versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the Southland Conference. As you're sweating McNeese on the money line, who's 9-0 in conference this year. They haven't lost a conference game, but of course they're on the road here at Corpus Christi. And we're trying to push them across just with the money line. I know they were laying. And so now I get my first look at McNeese here, Joe, on a Monday night.
That's good. NC State up 12 on Duke. Big 23 to 11. 23 to 11.
Live? What's Duke live?
I don't know. This hero let me down. I mean, now De'Aaron Fox is on, and you got to be kidding. With all the Klay Thompson, 7 of 10 from 3. Guys hitting 70% from 3-point land. You got to be kidding me. 70%.
Duke minus 9.5. They were 21.5 point favorites. They're down 12. There's 30 minutes left in the game. Man, that's enticing. Duke probably win this game by 10 plus.
Yeah. That's a huge line, Carver. Huge.
Joe, they were 21.5 to start the game. They're 10 minutes in. They're down 10 now. It's still 9.5.
I believe Kyrie only has 3 points. I mean, this Klay Thompson has 21, half the team's total. in the first quarter. You got to be kidding me. Like, real, what are we doing?
We
Zach
missed it now.
Levine,
It's
another
down to
one.
11 and a half.
Johnny
11 and a
Skidmore.
half.
Hey, Malik, anytime you want
12
to
and a
step up,
half.
guy. Hey, Malik Monk, anytime you want to, possibly do something from three. I mean, you talk about a 3-point specialist that sucks. This
Already
guy
at 13
sucks.
and a half. Already a 5-point game. They cut it in half in like a minute. Not even. They've already cut it in half.
Max Struess, non-existent, dead to rights. Unbelievable.
Max Struess.
Malik Monk, dead to rights. Look at this. Like Malik Monk, Carver, it's just so unbelievable. Guy can't shoot and hit the backside of a barn. Guy's got no threes. I don't even know what he attempted, but the volume can't even be there. I don't know. Need a miracle. Miracle
play?
at the Meadowlands. I need Kyrie for 30, Laurie Markkinen for 20, and Durant for 3 threes.
Where do you come up with it all? Where do you come up with this? Dylan Brooks with 7 threes too on the Rockets. 7 threes for Dylan Brooks.
Unbelievable. Nobody else attempted a 3. It's been Klay Thompson. Spencer Dinwiddie, former net, all of a sudden he stepped up. I tell you, I hate the hoops. Can't stand it.
Well, get ready. Got a long haul ahead of you. Long haul here. Remember, I always say to you, the college basketball bets you make in January and February, that's just information that you're going to store for March, Joe. You're storing information for March with college basketball.
I want to hold out hope. Any shot hero with 6 minutes in the third could give me 3 threes, and Malik Monk with 10 minutes in the third left gives me 4 threes. Any shot on that?
No.
Okay.
No. I wish I could tell you something better than that, but
I mean, I don't understand.
No.
You have a sharpshooter in Klay Thompson, guy shooting cashews out of a window, and this guy, Tyler Hero, 2 threes again. You want to talk about just terrible? The guy sucks.
Should have played this AD for 40. You should have played AD for 40 tonight, Joe.
Should have played AD for the bounds. He's got 18 bounds last time I checked. I had him at 14. That was cheap. See, every now and then you get these breakout nights, like with the points or somebody goes off. And sure enough, tonight, this is it now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hey, Hero. Hey, Hero.
Hey, Hero. All right.
What happened to the confidence after Illinois, Joe? You had so much confidence after the Illinois kill of Penn State. We need that confidence back, Joe.
Matthias ain't letting that go that night. That night that Penn State got drubbed by Illinois in that game.
She was trying to tell me it was the system. They got smashed.
That was the first basketball play you had all year, Joe. You were so sure of yourself. You nailed it. Now you've been watching hoops and you're playing these guys, Joe, these scrubs.
Hey, Bonchero stepped up with 2 threes. I need 2 more out of Bonchero. I need 20 points out of John Morant, and I need Malik Monk for 4 threes.
Bonchero.
I put Malik Monk in every parlay tonight. You believe this? But fear not. Fear not. Fear not. I put in a whirl play. Grayson Allen for 9 points. Bradley Beal for 4 threes. Brooke Lopez for 12 points. And Kyrie for 23. I named my own bet. Named my own bet on the Fanatics. I started spreading it around when I got locked out of FanDuel for like 4 hours yesterday.
Yeah, what was that about? I saw you saying that. I saw a lot of Jersey people were having problems with that, huh?
Only in
Jersey.
Jersey.
That was a Jersey thing.
Yeah. They did right. They gave me 1 free bet. All right. I don't know.
For you, that's probably like a 4-figure bet. So if they gave you one, that's probably a 4-figure bet they gave you.
I mean, honestly, they gave me a hundo. That was it. doesn't. At least there was something. I was counting on nothing, but I don't know.
Trying to make right by you, Joe. I want to keep you.
Was
Keep you in
tweeting out.
there.
What are you doing? I'm locked out.
I know. I saw early before I put the phone away. I didn't have the phone out after 6 o'clock.
And you were laughing. You had that grin out. You had that grin.
Oh, I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was hilarious.
Why?
I was.
Because I was like, I couldn't access my money. You didn't like that.
No, I know how you operate, and you were probably looking at the phone, dying to get something in. There was probably something you were hot for. You couldn't get to it. I know how it goes with you.
Did you break your TV, Joe? Something broke. You had to have broken something.
Nah.
What you throw around?
You watched the games at home, or did you go out?
I stayed home yesterday with my daughter. We watched the games.
Okay.
Watched the games. Ordered
takeout.
Outback.
A little takeout. Ordered Outback.
Outback.
All right.
Outback for the late game.
Good.
Some almond butter after I had the indigestion with Dalton Kincaid. And then I was like, well, let me get the late night action in. No game. That was it. They're dead to rights. The Kincaid, it was like whiskey.
McNeese just hit a couple threes here, Joe. McNeese up 5 now. Just hit a couple threes.
What, Bonchero?
No, Boncaro. Paulo Banchero.
Bonchero. Did you see Gronk yesterday? Hey, I believe Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's going to be...
Gronk's got
Gronk, give it up,
he's got to
buddy,
sit a
right?
couple plays out. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
Garden hose. And SportsGrid has you covered with strategies and info on football, baseball, and everything else. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime, on the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Carver and Lisi.
Allen can stand toe-to-toe with Mahomes. The rest of the guys can't. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year because, yes, they have Mahomes, but they also have Chris Jones. And they also have Travis Kelce. And they also have this guy that the Bills handed them, who was the best wide receiver in the whole game last night, and that's Xavier Worth, who was just running all over the place making plays, who the Bills gave to them.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please don't wait. Your life matters to us.
800-959-6348. 800-959-6348. 800-959-6348. Call right now before it's too late. That's 800-959-6348.
Days are getting cooler. The shadows are getting longer. You know what that means. It's football weather. So bundle up and keep it here for all the latest strategies and gridiron information. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
We're back. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, channel 159. Here. All right, Joe. We're watching a lot of these hoops. Several games happening. Duke, of course, and NC State is underway as well. Drop the phone, break it, maybe. You never know. Right now, Joe, 29-22. So Duke now down 7. I believe you said 12 was where they were at the most. So they're now live. 9.5 they're back down to now, Joe. 9.5.
9.5. 9.5.
Yep. We'll keep our eye on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's
see...
a 12.5 point differential from opening line. It's like, how much time left? 2 minutes?
There's like 6 or 7 minutes left in the half.
I'd
Lifetime
hold off.
left in the game.
Let's see what we can catch in the second half.
I guess Monday was kind of the day where all these teams introduced these coaches. Did you see any of the clips of these jokers?
I saw Pete Carroll's with Marshawn Lynch yelling. And did you see that? And he's like, hey, calm down, Mark. I guess he meant Mark Davis. Like, you know. Meanwhile, Mark Davis, I know he's got a good-looking girlfriend and everything, but, like, he's got to do it. Like, he is one tough dude to wither. I mean, I know he's got money. But you talk about, like...
He is, as they always... It's from that movie, Joe. He is not an attractive man. He is just not an attractive man.
I mean, you want to talk about... Yeah, I'm trying to think who he reminds me of.
The hair, the hair is...
Well, I'm trying to think what movie he reminds me. You know who he reminds me of? Was it what was the old school kids cartoon? Captain what the heck was his name? What? Oh God. Old cartoon. Hang on, I'll find it.
You're going to have to figure that one out, Joe.
When I was a kid, Captain Kangaroo. That's who he looks like. He looks. Yeah, Mark Davis looks like a spitting image of Captain Kangaroo. That guy, you want to talk about handed down money. I mean, that guy, Captain Kangaroo and Mark Davis. That's what I grew up on it. Google it. Tell me, Captain Kangaroo. Oh, man, you want to talk about an ugly individual. God, not to judge, but I mean, granted, he's got money. I mean, don't they do like face transplants now and everything now? Like, I think they have the AI where you could rip the head off the shoulders or something and start over. I mean, but obviously it's not affecting him in any way. At least he saves on haircuts,
He saves
what
on
does he have?
haircuts.
One of the assistants, throw the bowl on top of the head and I'll have a Caesar with that. I mean, unbelievable. I can't believe nobody thought that Mark Davis looks like Captain Kangaroo. I don't know.
I'm sure you're not the first one to do that.
No,
but...
I got to Google Captain Kangaroo and Mark Davis. Let's see. I'm going to Google, see if anybody came up with that. If not, I'm going to put it out there.
Did you see, I sent you a clip of the guy Cohen in Jacksonville, Duval. Did you see him, how he said Duval? He was trying to do the Duval County.
Duval.
And
did you see
completely
his desk?
butch.
Did you see his office?
Yes, I did see that clip.
I didn't think the office was all that great. I thought Saban had a much better office in Alabama. Didn't you? I mean,
I thought it was pretty spacious. He had like a porch outside overlooking the practice field. He had a pretty nice setup in there. I think he's doing okay.
Nice. I mean, he's doing okay, but I mean,
I've never done a 14-point inspection of Saban's office, but I'm sure none of them are as nice as Saban's office. I mean,
Saban had all oak. I mean, he had the little trap door. Did you see it? I mean,
Saban's office probably looked like a place, you used to go in the woods, like those restaurants, like in the Great Outdoors with John Candy, where there's wood all over the restaurant when he eats the old 96er.
Yeah, great movie.
Those are the walls. Those are the walls in Saban's office, like that place over that, like.
I'm done. No, you're not. The Grizzle and Fat, too.
Gotta eat the
Yes.
What a
The
film.
Grizzle and Fat. He goes, I'm finished. There's loads of fat on there. Oh,
They
God.
just don't make movies like that anymore. They just don't. They don't make films like that. The Great Outdoors with John Candy. What a great film.
You say the last comedy great shows were. Had to be like Wedding Crashers, that whole like mid 2000s, mid 2010 to 2015. Once we got to like 2016 and beyond, we're like the comedy's not all that great anymore.
Comedy's not great anymore. I agree. They don't make any good comedies anymore. But I think part of that also is, Joe, is because everyone's afraid to say something everyone's going to get mad about. That's also one of the things, right? They don't want to make movies they don't want to offend anybody. So that's kind of how it goes.
96er. Would you eat the old 96er if we went out? If we went out, you think we could?
I would not have. I couldn't finish a quarter of the old 96er. No shot.
No?
No shot.
Wow.
No shot.
All right. I give it a whirl.
No shot.
I give it a whirl. Did I tell you when I went to Vegas one time and I had it was the burger, it was like 2 pounds of meat, and I thought it was just a bowl, and they're like, you got to eat to the bottom. So I thought it was just like, this was back 8 years ago, and they're like, you get the free meal if you do it. I'm like, I'll try it. So I actually thought it was just all beef. There were fries on the bottom. I'm like, I was like, hey, yeah, no good. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, that did it for you. No fries.
Paid for the meal.
Yep. Can't have the fries. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
Don't look like an idiot at work. Know your stuff. Football and everything else. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
In 1969, Chuck Noll was named the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then a year later, the Steelers draft Terry Bradshaw from Louisiana Tech.
Just been informed that the MVP is Terry Bradshaw.
Noll and Bradshaw go on to lead Pittsburgh to 4 Super Bowls during the 1970s.
I don't think we've peaked yet, and we're looking forward to even bigger and better things.
Yeah. For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and Sirius XM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with the early line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Money Line at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern, and Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evenings simmer with Carver and Lisi, then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find SportsGrid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Money Line.
Could this be, Ben, the best offseason in the history of the NFL? Let's go get Vic Fangio. We have the worst defense in the NFL. We'll have that work out for the number 1 defense in the NFL here. Let's go get Kellen Moore. And oh yeah, let's sign a backup special team, sometimes pass rusher in Zach Vaughn, who turns out to be the single best linebacker in football this year.
Catch Money Line with Donnie Rightside and Kevin Walsh. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. Days are getting cooler and shadows are getting longer. You know what that means. It's football weather. So bundle up and keep it here for all the latest strategies and gridiron information. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159. Here with you on the grid. All right. up the crowd. Glenn, buckle up, buckle the seatbelt, we're ready, like it's just the same thing. Salad did the same act, didn't he? Like the all gas, no brake. Like he did the same stuff. But, I do like Aaron Glenn, Joe. The problem is that he went going to a place you can't win. Just can't win there. Nobody wins at the Jets.
He makes it sound, though, like he elevated his team. He goes, I elevated the team from the bottom to the top. You're with DC of Detroit. That's on Dan Campbell. I mean, who's giving Aaron Glenn credit that he elevated the team from the bottom basement? I understand he was a part of that, but he's making it sound like that's on his coaching resume. Like, okay, you were DC and your defense wasn't even top 10 guy. So what are we talking about? Like, explain to me what we're talking about for the success of Aaron Glenn. Yes, he went from, the scouting room to the quality control to the DC to the, all right, so he gets it all. But come on, that ain't going to matter. It's the Jets, the gutless Jets, and same old. And the fact that he wants to keep around Aaron Rodgers because he's afraid to start out with a rookie, because he's afraid of getting chopped. Okay, let's call it what it is. And his personality will not be bigger than Aaron Rodgers, so he's starting off already on a negative foot. But that's a good job. Way to assess the team.
I'm not going to disagree with you, obviously. The Schottenheimer thing, I saw snippets. The stuff with Jerry and Stephen Jones was a lot better than the Schottenheimer stuff because it's just comedy with those two. Stephen Jones, they were up there for like an hour. I think I saw somebody break it down on Twitter. Stephen Jones talked for only like 4.5 minutes of the whole hour, but he had like the 4.5 minutes of the most outrageous content in the hour of some of the things he said. He air quoted, what did he say, Joe? Obviously, they haven't made an NFC championship game in 30 years. That's obviously been brought up a lot with Washington making it.
I know it. I know it.
Oh, he called it, he went like this, drought. I know that fans think that we're in some kind of a drought, and he went like that. Steven, my man, you haven't been to the NFC title game in 30 years. All right? Like, I hate to break you the news, Joe. Like, right, Joe? Like, you're in a drought, bro. Like, I know it's, you piss fans off, Joe, when you do stuff like that. Drought, like if they're wrong.
Hey, Daddy, we're still good, aren't we? Hey, Daddy,
that's another.
We're still good. Hey, Daddy, we're still good, aren't we? Yeah, son. You see me act. You see me.
He's another.
You see me. I know the Academy Award. All these beat writers. Did you see
He's another
Jerry?
Kendall Roy.
Did you see Jerry act?
I know. Everybody gets hot about Jerry. Guys, you got to understand. Of course Jerry's going to say dumb stuff. He's like 80 years old, and he's still up there at all these press conferences, and he's still the general manager, and he's still... Like, of course he's going to say ridiculous things. Like, it's expected at this point. You'd actually think something's wrong if he didn't go up there and say ridiculous things. And I know you're excited about... how about that Schottenheimer's going to bring Eberflus as his defensive coordinator? I mean, Eberflus. I always like, Joe, when first-time coaches have guys with head coaching experience on their staff so that they can lean on them. But not that guy. You can't lean on Eberflus.
Why? Is it any different than what they had in Zimmer? Mike Zimmer? Gutless Mike Zimmer that couldn't elevate that defense, that they felt bad for the guy. And unfortunate circumstances off the field, they brought him back. Well, let's call it what it was. I mean, his defense sucked. They absolutely sucked. I mean, Mike is a clear example, not McCarthy, Zimmer. Can see the punches coming, just can't get out of the way. Hey, Mike, you take the left hook, uppercut, get out of the way, man.
Dennis Allen's going to go with Ben Johnson in Chicago. I know you love Dennis Allen, too. He's another one of your favorites. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back right after this.
Loser is kind of a mean-spirited slur.
But it doesn't have to stick.
Tell them to listen to Sports Grid and fix it.
No, thank you. Later.
This is the Sports Grid Radio Network. The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Football full circle.
They were in a position where they were tight yet again. You have to believe that you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you had Matt Collins that was playing good. Keon Coleman, get him out of there. That was a complete waste of space. The bottom line is this. You have a 6'5 quarterback. Push him and don't go off tackle. Go right up the gut, the way Jalen Hurts does it.
It's football full circle with Ben Stevens and Joe Lisi. Weekdays noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the Sports Grid Radio Network.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-365-6303. 800-365-6303. 800-365-6303. That's 800-365-6303.
No way football is playing in the fall and winter.
Because the hits don't hurt as much when you're numb. Get the lowdown on all the sports action coming up right here.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
This is the Sports Grid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. Here with you. So, Joe, this AD tonight, he had
unbelievable. 19 bounds.
42 points and 23 boards. 23 boards he ended with, Joe.
Yeah, I should have just taken him. I don't know. You want to talk about a dominating performance? All these guys, ready? The gutless. I'm going to go through them all. AD, great game. Hero, 2 threes, gutless. Malik Monk, no threes, gutless. Ja Morant, does the guy shoot anymore? Getting blasted at the Garden, 10 points. What happened to him? He's not doing TikToks anymore? Ja Morant, they're supposed to be the second coming of Michael Jordan. Guy can't get out of his own way anymore, and his team's getting smashed. I mean, what is this? What is this guy? He's not. Life isn't a joke anymore. He's not jumping around doing TikToks. This guy, you want to talk about hitting the skids? What's up with this guy? Huh?
No more TikToks.
No more TikToks. Zach LaVine, another one, hot, cold. He stinks. Jordan Poole, I need him for 20. Team getting smashed by 30.
He's going to get traded, Joe. LaVine.
Good.
So that's one of the big potential trades that are out there, because they're trying to get Butler to Phoenix, and you need like 4 or 5 teams to make that work. So I think it was
Zach LaVine to Cleveland to this to that.
Butler to Phoenix, Beal to Chicago, LaVine to Milwaukee, and then Middleton, Portis, and other scraps back to Miami. And there might be a 5th team in there too. That was one of those I find that so hard to how do you even get all that together? Having 4 and 5 team trades. It's just like, I get it's all because the NBA, the money's got to match up, so you need to have it down to the dollar. and everything, but those are hard trades to
Yeah.
to complicate.
Carver, AD tonight,
Yeah.
23 bounds.
I just told you that. I said he had 40 and 23.
Unbelievable.
40 and 23. That's your guy.
They had this Brook Lopez. I need Kyrie for 23 points. He's not even going to play the second half. They're up by 30. Up by 30.
Yeah.
I mean, Klay Thompson puts in 21 in the first quarter. He's got 23. 7 of 12 now. You want to talk about a ball hog? 8 of 14 from the field. Him and PJ Washington. PJ's got 15. Kyrie, I guess, is the facilitator tonight. He's got 16 minutes, 1 of 4 from the field. 3 assists. Not even doing that. Like, come on. Can't even get to 23, Kyrie?
Can't have it.
Terrible. Just bad. Just bad. No good. Minus 310 to get 23 points tonight. Unbelievable. So,
Man, the Knicks are just destroying the Grizzlies, Joe. Destroying.
Yeah.
128 to 94. Smash City. What did you get from Banchero?
No, I needed 4 threes out of Banquet, or 3 threes. I don't even remember.
He's got 2. He's 2 for 6 from 3 right now. 2 for 6. Not good enough, Joe.
Malik Monk is another one. Maybe he'll wake up one of these days. Not good. Just,
Duke is down 4 at the half. 37-33.
All right. There you go.
Michigan ended up winning that game.
Did
by
they?
4. By 4.
Wow. All right. Okay. I mean,
You with me on the system play tonight with Arizona?
Yeah, I like them. I like them, and I like UCLA.
So why don't we do UCLA, Arizona, with UCLA, Arizona. We'd have to get this in now. Would this Clipper Sun game start yet, or no?
I don't know. Now Kyle Kuzma's calling out fans. Is that true? For picking parlays? Is that true?
Well,
is Kyle Kuzma?
Don't
get me on this.
Where'd you get this from?
Matthias.
I just said it.
Is that true, or is that like somebody? Like,
that's true, Joe. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Hey, Kyle, you're getting 35, 40 million to put a ball into a basket. Wake up and do your job. How about that? All right, that's your job. Okay, and win games.
What did Kyle Kuzma send you, Joe? What did Kuzma send you? What does it say?
You get me all gassed up about maybe I'm ass. He's tweeting out fans for bet. Without fans gambling, all right, that's how your salary gets paid with all these partnerships into the leagues and stuff. He needs to wake up. It's not. Listen, it is what it is. You have good nights, you have bad nights. The fact that these guys could care less whether they win or lose, and they're swapping jerseys at the end of every game is absolutely pathetic. Okay? Show some sportsmanship, competitive spirit. Can I have your jersey, man? Can I have your jersey? Can you sign it? I want to put it on my wall. Joke.
Joe all fired up.
All fired
up, Joe.
All fired up.
Man, Ohio State was the play tonight, Joe. They're up 21.
Smashing Iowa, right?
Smashing Iowa. Just absolutely smashing them. Yeah. Missed out on that one, Joe.
Missed out on a lot today. What could I say? Just a bad night. Just a bad night. Just you're always chasing after no football. We got these garbage games. Here we go.
Look, you gotta.
These guys don't give it 100%. We're gambling on these guys. They can care less. They're walking through the motions.
Joe, I'd prefer to play to college. I know that you want to get in on a lot of this NBA props and things like that. I got no use for it. I'd rather play to college. I know that I'm getting max effort.
Bogdan Bogdanovic. He's another one. 4 threes. Guy can't even make one.
Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Bogdan. All right. Good for him. Good for him. Put the ball in the hoop. That's all I care about. All right?
Bojan.
I don't care about how your name is spelled. You don't care how mine is spelled. I told you. Get mine right. Lisi, Lisa, Lizzie. They'll get over it.
Who gets your name wrong?
Everybody.
Hey,
people that don't know me
here. Yeah. How about your boy Knowles taking all that cash to go to Penn State, leaving Ohio State for Penn State?
I told you that. There was a supposed falling out between him and Ryan Day. You know Ryan Day is a complete hump. You know that. I mean, let's be honest.
I know that.
He doesn't look at it's Ohio versus everybody. It's Ohio versus. Somebody should have stepped on his toe when he said that. Called out the 86-year-old man. Guy's got marbles in his mouth, but that's besides the point. Holtz.
He's another guy. He's 100 years old. I mean, what do you want from him? What do you expect? Of course, another one. What
He was
do you mean he got
like
marbles
that
in his mouth?
40s. He sounds like he's got marbles in his mouth. He sounded like that when he was on ESPN with Mark May. Come on.
Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159.
Yeah, it's getting cooler. Football weather is here. Stay tuned for all the latest odds, strategies, and info. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. Carver and Lisi.
Allen can stand toe-to-toe with Mahomes. The rest of the guys can't. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year because, yes, they have Mahomes, but they also have Chris Jones. And they also have Travis Kelce. And they also have this guy that the Bills handed them, who was the best wide receiver in the whole game last night, and that's Xavier Worth, who was just running all over the place making plays, who the Bills gave to them.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
In 1969, Chuck Noll was named the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then a year later, the Steelers draft Terry Bradshaw from Louisiana Tech.
Just been informed that the MVP is Terry Bradshaw.
Noll and Bradshaw go on to lead Pittsburgh to 4 Super Bowls during the 1970s.
I don't think we peaked yet, and we're looking forward to even bigger and better things.
Yeah.
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and Sirius XM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with the early line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Moneyline at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern, and Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evenings simmer with Carver and Lisi, then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find SportsGrid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Fall is almost here. It's time to stow the lawnmower and get ready for all that glorious action coming your way. Stay tuned to SportsGrid for all the strategies, angles, and info you need to get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 159. Great to have you with us here. I just thought I remembered I wanted to bring up with you, Joe, because I saw a clip of it from yesterday, and when it happened yesterday, I said I gotta find out how Joe thought about this.
Yeah.
What about your guy Daniels doing that dance when they were down 20 after he scored that touchdown? I mean, you're down 20. Like, come on, man. Yeah, give the ball to the
this
refs
has
and let's
gotta be.
go here.
See, now this has
Give
gotta
the ball
be.
to the ref and let's go. Let's get
They
back to the
weren't
huddle.
Oh, here
They
we
were
go.
down
This
20. They were down 20 when he scored that touchdown. Did we
Carver.
need the full dance?
Yes, you need it. The kid's playing his heart out, okay? The kid's playing his heart out. He needs to get it. He was trying to gas his team up a little bit. It sounds like there's no way you saw the clip. Nah, I feel like somebody else maybe put you onto it.
Nope.
Like flies on butter.
Nope. I was scrolling and I saw it yesterday, and I remembered I wanted to bring up to you doing that.
Everybody wants to bring down this kid, Jaden Daniels. The kid's explosive. The kid's explosive.
Well, look, he was no doubt, Joe, but now an unbelievable, memorable first season for him. But you know how this business works. When you set the bar this high, you can't now go 8-9 next year and miss the playoffs. The bar has been set. NFC title game, first year, rookie season. You got to be a perennial playoff team and put yourself back in those positions to be able to get back in those games. Can't be a 1 year off. It's got to be now consistently being there every year.
Yeah, you got to be exactly what Joe Burrow did in his first couple of years, right? Take his team to an AFC championship and one Super Bowl and an AFC championship in back-to-back years, and that's exactly what you need to do, right? I mean, at the end of the day, the difference is I just feel like there's still one or two players away offensively, Carver, from that, but defensively, I love the kid, Luvo. Whatever his name is, number 4. It comes from Washington State. Franco Lavu,
yeah,
or whatever. But you need an overhaul. They try. The problem is they still had some of those front seven from the days of Rivera. Dan Quinn needs to get his talent in there. They need some. Lattimore's not an answer. I know they took him over. He starts a fight every game. Somebody should give him a slap.
What was his problem? I mean, honestly, I thought Quinn should have took him off the field, and I thought he was trying to take him off the field at one point, and he stayed out there. But you're right about the weapons, and I think it's even more of a testament to the job that Daniels did this year. I mean, you got some guys, in that game they're trailing and they're trying to come back and score points. I mean, they've got Jamison Crowder and Zacchaeus running routes out there. I mean,
has-beens.
Players.
I mean, De'Ami Brown. Come on.
McLaurin's awesome.
Yes, and Zach Ertz
a winning player.
Is at the end of his career, but I mean, you talk about I killed Zach Ertz last night. I had him 50 yards. I should have altered him to 90. 50 was plus 270.
I was hoping, watching him catch all those balls, I was hoping you had him altered a little bit higher.
I couldn't get in. And then I was on Fanatics, and I was all aggravated because, it doesn't look the same.
They don't have the same alts. They don't have the same alts. It just wouldn't have been there for you.
Could have went to MGM too. I don't know. I just got twisted. I was like, oh, on Championship Sunday, I'll be out maybe an hour, right? I'll pick it up. I was out until almost halftime of the Bills game, from the start of the Eagle game.
Unbelievable. Can't believe they did that to you.
Oh, can't get in. Joe can't. Donnie tweeted they took all the money and they're at the Bahamas now from all the money they made on the Commanders' money. That's what happens.
I know we're gonna have two bad night in the NBA. Depends on what you played. Bad night for you.
I keyed AD. Of course, I take Clint Capella, 6 bounds. He's got 12. Kyrie's got 5. This Laurie marketing Guy starts hot as a pistol, 10 points, stuck on neutral. Like Kevin Durant, 3 0. I mean, I don't know. Just all these guys, Carver, all these guys. Like, yeah, I'm
This
Joey
McNeese is in
Skids.
trouble here, Joe. McNeese is in trouble.
I hit the
They're
Skids
down 1.
tonight. Joey Skid Marks. Joe Skids. Look at this. Brooke Lopez, 6 points. Kyrie's got 5. Could he stay in for the second half, or it's just it's a smash job, right?
Smash job.
Tied at in the second here, Duke and NC State. They're going to get run out of the gym.
Go. Can they win by 12?
I don't know.
I got 11.5.
You laid it, huh?
Laid it 11.5 live when they were down, yeah. Hopefully a second half smash job. Leave no doubt, Joe. Leave no doubt.
All right. I don't know. I just feel like the wind was taken out of me today.
By who?
Just your team just ripped it out of me.
My team? You won. You had the Chiefs. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I was really hoping on that parlay. Your guy let me down.
Well, then you should. Then you know what? The next time, put a Chief in. Okay.
I had 2 Chiefs, Mahomes and Hunt.
Put another one. Put another one then. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back in.
Luck is winning the lottery. Strategy is settling your divorce before cashing in the tickets. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
The uncanny valley, that feeling of unease you get from humanoid androids whose looks creep you out on a subconscious level.
I am wearing my smiling face. Does that displease you?
New tech from Osaka University dynamically synthesizes android facial movements to express their mood.
Yes, I'm tickled pink.
Breaking down moods into overlapping waves that blend naturally.
I'm running on fumes.
Mixing in realistic breathing, eye blinks, and even spontaneous yawning. Real emotions enhancing communications with robots in a more natural, human-like manner.
In other words, just another uncanny valley Sunday in synthetic human land.
Follow me at Chicapalmo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. That's 800-823-3851.
No way football is playing in the fall and winter because the hits don't hurt as much when you're numb. Get the lowdown on all the sports action coming up right here. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM, channel 159 here. All right, Joe. I texted you this, but I thought I would let everybody know. One of Joe's guys won the golf this weekend. Harry English, 90-1 hit at the Farmers at Torrey Pines. That's 2 weeks in a row with Joe Guys. Seppi the week before. Straka won at 60, and then Harry English wins at 90 this week.
And you don't remind me, I noticed. You don't remind me.
There was nothing to remind you. You're not in on the golf yet. I mean, you still have football going on. So you want to get in this week at Pebble? We got Pebble Beach this week. Sure, we could find some of your guys.
Toasty?
This is a signature event. There's no way Toasty's in this.
There it is. It happened again. I always do it. It's part of the show.
I know. You could get the Todd Father at 500-1. Justin Lauer at 220.
What about Frankie Melt? Can I get Frankie Melt?
Frankie Melt. Who's Frankie Melt? Huh? Jaeger bombs?
Frankie Melt.
I don't know who you're talking about, Joe.
Frankie Melt.
Who are you talking about?
Frankie Melt from New Zealand. Melt. M-E-L-T. Right. First name Frankie.
Okay. This is why I don't bring the golf up anymore.
Oh, come on. That's a great name, Frankie. Now put an S to it. Frankie's Melt.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, the golf's really what only thing I'm gonna be locked in on now for the next few weeks.
So now you're not gonna bet NBA. You're not gonna bet college basketball. We're gonna do that. We gotta wait every Thursday.
College basketball, I will.
So now we have nothing to bet on the show. So what do we do? We just jib jab.
College
what are we gonna do for five days a week?
College basketball, I will. But I mean, I'm gonna be most of my. This is how I've run it the last couple of years. Once we get past the football, I like to really start to hone in on the golf until baseball starts and the tournament comes, then the March with the madness. So
I'm telling you this right now. We got a big game. We got Pope in Kentucky on the road against Tennessee.
Huge game tomorrow night. Great game.
It's an hour before we start. How about that Minnesota team?
So put it in now. Who do you like?
Crypto.
Who do you like tomorrow?
How about that? What do you mean put it in now? Why do I have to put it in now?
Tennessee minus 9.5. Do we like Pope or do we like the Vols? Who are you on?
Kentucky coming off a loss in Vanderbilt. Back-to-back road games here in the state of Tennessee.
I'll tell you who else I like tomorrow night. Hold on. Where is it?
I got to look at this. I got to look at this board.
South Carolina's been playing kind of tough lately.
Yeah, they're going to get smashed. Who are they playing?
Playing Georgia.
Where's that game?
It's at Georgia.
Georgia laying 8.5. They're 0-7 in the SEC. Yeah, but they're going to smash them. Georgia got blown out by Florida on Saturday. See, I'm starting to get into it now. Hang on, I'll tell you who I like.
We're testing you.
I'll tell you who's a nice dog. Hang on. That you gotta keep an eye on. Oklahoma. Oklahoma gets a road win in Arkansas. Texas A&M loses to Texas, and now they're catching around 7.5. I don't love it, but I'm sort of inclined to take Oklahoma, no?
You can get me in with you on Oklahoma. Tell you, late night. Gonzaga lost in overtime to Oregon State in Corvallis a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Could see Gonzaga smashing them tomorrow night. Smash job.
This Bogdanovich, this guy stinks.
Boyan Bogdanovich.
Which one's his brother? His brother. Melly Bogdanovich? What's his name? One was. I bet this guy. I don't even know. This guy's on the Hawks, right? This is the brother that sucks.
Yeah.
The other one's on the Pacers.
The guy on the Hawks can hit threes. Joe, great job. Great job by Matthias Ravel. We're back tomorrow. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM. See you then.